Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sheffield Hallam University and the Destination Marketing Symposium. My name is Peter Schofield. I'm Professor of Tourism and Services Management here in the Business School. Thank you for coming, particularly those of you who've come from afar this afternoon. Just some housekeeping points first of all. Toilets just at the top of the lecture theatre on your right. In case there's a fire alarm, if you go back to the top through two sets of doors and then over to your right, just head for the daylight. Bit disorientation in this building. I think if you came in level 5, we're now on level 2, and you go out onto the ground level in both cases. This is an important day for us today. Well, it's payday at Sheffield Hallam. It's important for us because it's our second Destination Marketing Symposium. Destination Marketing represents one of the core research themes for us in the business school, within our section of the business school in service sector management. The other areas, the more traditionally, we have a reputation for tourism policy and planning, sustainable tourism, and we have another emerging area, which is adventure tourism, which really jigsaws with the aspirations of the city to be the outdoors capital of the UK. We've got an adventure tourism conference in September, and if you want more details on that, have a look on the website, or if you can see us a bit later on in the networking event, which I'll explain in a few minutes' time. We also have a couple of, scholarship, research scholarship and a teaching assistantship for next academic year. So if you want to talk to us about that, see myself or one of my colleagues in the networking event, or have a look on the website, the details are on there. I need to tell you about the revised programme for this afternoon. Unfortunately, Jim Paul couldn't be with us. He's away on official business in Australia, promoting Ireland at the St. Patrick's Day presentations. So we've had to sort of rejig the schedule slightly. I'm going to speak for a few more minutes. Then Professor Emeritus David Airy is going to set the scene for us this afternoon. Then we've got Scott Taylor, Chief Executive of Glasgow City Marketing Bureau. He's going to talk to us about what they do in Glasgow. It's widely regarded as the best example of destination marketing, pretty much globally, I would think. And I'll say a bit more about that just before Scott comes up to speak. Then we have John Healy to talk about theory of destination marketing later on. And we're going to have a debate and discussion immediately after that. We're going to invite the three speakers out here so you can ask them questions. So if you can save your questions till that time, it'll help with the schedule of this afternoon. Then we're going up into the cafeteria, up at the back of the lecture theatre, through the double doors, and it's straight in front of you there. So we're going to have a coffee and networking later on this afternoon, and then we're going to close at 4:15. Okay. In terms of, it's a really challenging time for DMOs at the moment. Economic austerity, but there's never been a more important time to promote destinations effectively. We have over 1 billion tourists crossing international borders every year at the moment, and consumers are very much more sophisticated now than ever before, much more discerning, discriminating. They've got technology, mobile phone technology, the internet. They want value, quality. They've got more choice than ever before. So it's a challenging time for DMOs. Creating competitive advantage or differentiation, or is it a case of destinations becoming more alike and everything is being marketed to all segments at the same time? Certainly we've got market and product complexity. We've seen a number of different marketing strategies been employed over the years in terms of marketing destinations, from a straight 4Ps formula for the marketing mix, 7Ps, an additional 3, and also adding in provenance, partnerships, people at the destinations, for example, where there's a strong regional identity, a strong subculture or accent. For example, in the northeast of the country, that's used to create a sense of place at the destination and differentiate the brand in that respect. And I'm going to give you some examples in a minute of perhaps unconventional aspects of marketing strategy or different ways marketing strategy has been applied. We tend to think, reading the textbooks, that it's sort of conventional, go for looking at the theory and it's sort of applied in practice, although the products are much more complex and DMOs are not starting with a a blank sheet of paper. We have images, attitudes towards destinations in our mind. Whether that's created through, could be a range of factors. Popular music, for example, if you think of the impact of U2 on Dublin, the Beatles on Liverpool before them, think of sports or any particular variable. Personalities. I was up in on the border of Kyrgyzstan and China about 10 years ago, and I was looking at sort of heritage sites in that area, staying with pastoral nomads in a yurt. We're drinking fermented Mer's milk, which is at the funky end of the beverage spectrum, I can tell you. And my Russian is not good, and one of the shepherds asked through the interpreter, "Where are you from?" And as soon as I said Manchester, the shepherd went, Beckham, posh. So it just shows you the sort of the power of those sorts of images, really. So plenty of sort of complexity there. Are we talking about sophisticated segmentation techniques in terms of lifestyle, life cycle segmentation, data fusion, demographics in there as well? Or is it about relatively undifferentiated marketing, or perhaps some different examples? But it depends very much on the scale. Is it country scale, regional, city destinations, level of market awareness, the stage of development, government policy, and particular features of place? If there are iconic features, it makes life easier. When there's nothing really there, you're depending very much on festivals and events. To give you some quick examples, I mean, is this an example of Latvia targeting slow tourists, this emerging segment, or is it a case of them just wanting to get them to stay in Latvia for longer so they maximize the spend rather than go into the other Baltic states or spread the spend out from Riga? Kyrgyzstan, when they emerged from Soviet occupation in the early 90s, they position themselves as the Switzerland of Central Asia. And I think that's very unconventional. You think you want to differentiate your brand, but particularly in Western markets, then and now, people can't differentiate between Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and all the other surrounding states. So, and you can see why they went for that particular sort of image. It's changed since then, but again, depends on level of awareness in the marketplace. Who can forget this gutsy campaign by sort of Salford some time ago now, and that's changed, but they decided to sort of hit negative perceptions of the destination head on. Whether that reinforced the negative perceptions or not, you make your own mind up about that. But talk about pond life, they wanted to sort of really get away from this sort of urban, moribund and destitute image of the city, and really highlight the fact that in reality it's a very green city, lots of parks, lots of rivers, lots of water there, Salford Quays in the background there as the example. Public hangings refers to the sort of Lowry paintings in the gallery, and the sort of spitting distance of Manchester, close to Manchester. This is a time when I think Salford were trying to retain their sort of independence, really, instead of market themselves as part of Manchester. So lots of complexity in terms of the application of theory. The way it's applied in practice varies according to a wide range of different variables. And I'm going to ask Emeritus Professor David Airy to come and talk to you now and set the scene for this afternoon.